Play an insanely aggressive playstyle, spam attacks with Mulan to create insane pressure, and then use Moana to ready all your cards to do the same again next turn. This is Mulan Princesses, and welcome to my deck guide. If you're not used to these type of videos, here's timestamps for everything that we have in store for you. If you want any of this stuff specifically, just go to that time and that's what you'll get. So the keycards for this deck, obviously we have Mulan. Basically, whenever Mulan banishes another character in a challenge, all your other characters get +1 attack. So this enables us to just spam attacks with the card. It is already in Ruby, so we can use cards like Lefou, Shield of Virtue, to attack multiple times in a turn and give our characters even like sometimes +2, +3 lore each. So we can create a really wide board, and then we can have just our really cheap units that would normally quest for 1, questing for like 3 or 4, which yeah, if you have a wide board is insane because it just enables you to like end the game in like a couple of turns basically. Mulan's also a 5 cost, which means if we pair it with the Amber faction, we have access to Just in Time, which allows us to get Mulan on the board as soon as turn 3, which can create some insane pressure. And also gives us access to another key card, Moana. So Moana, whenever she quests, you can ready all your other princess characters, but they can't quest. So Mulan as a princess can ready back up, and it can't quest, but we don't care about that because it means we can attack again. So we can attack multiple times with this. We can also use Moana to protect our other princess characters, so we can quest with them and then use Moana to quest and then ready them all and then wait to the next turn just to keep them alive that extra turn, give them an extra bit of survival that we need. Moana's also a 5 cost, so we can also get this out from turn 3 with Just in Time, and it does also quest for free, which is really good for that pressure. And then we won't be playing an Amber aggro deck. We didn't include Rockstar Stitch. This is probably one of the best cards in the game right now. Just being able to play a 2 cost, exert it, draw a card, keeps your hand really full up. We do have Rapunzel in this deck as well for card draw, but Rockstar Stitch is definitely the main all-star, and Shift 4 allows you to play this on turn 4, and it also quests for free itself. So you know, if you're not on the Rockstar Stitch hype train like everyone else is, you should probably get on it pretty soon because this card's pretty good. And then our final key card is Just in Time. You can play a character with 5 or less for free, that costs 5 or less for free, sorry. So this basically is targeting our Mulan, our Moana, and we can also play Maximus with Bodyguard, which we have in the deck to protect our early units that we play. Overall, a really high rolly card and can just win you the game on the spot when you get it on turn 3. So this is the deck list I've got. This is just a kind of starter deck list. If you enjoy this deck, I'd recommend trying out other ideas that you might like, just to see what your perfect 60 is. But right now I'm really enjoying this 60. It's working really well for me. We've got the early game aggression of like the Lilo and just the 1-drops, combined that with the Simba. Bodyguard's pretty good. So basically we've just got a load of 1-drops. We've got Rockstar Stitch we can shift into, and then we've got 3 Dragonfires just for that kind of, Ruby's a strong ink. It has access to a lot of removal, so Dragonfire is just like that ideal removal that you want. We've got Lantern, just for the extra value. I think Lantern's a really good card. Also, the list hasn't got too many calls, so we have room to put those Lanterns and Dragonfires in. So yeah, we're just playing really cheap units to enable the Rockstar Stitch, get a wide board, and then Mulan to come in and just get our cards questing for a lot basically. And then we just have a load of 5-drops to enable Just in Time. We've got Rapunzel for card draw too. And basically we're just playing every card that can kind of ready our Mulan back up and just keep attacking. And then even a card like Sergeant Tibbs just becomes super like impactful just because it can quest for like 3 or 4 sometimes. And then if they don't clear your super wide board, then you just do it again the whole next turn. It's not like a 1-turn thing. It kind of carries on the whole game until they remove like your key pieces. Like if you have Rockstar Stitch and Mulan, then they need to remove like both of them, or otherwise you just have that constant threat. So the main combo is basically just, other than Just in Time, just getting a card out on turn 3, or turn 1 to Lilo Simba, the main combo you want to be looking for every single game is Mulan plus just enablers. So we can play Shield of Virtue really early, and then we can use this every single turn. For free ink we can ready Mulan again. We can use Lefou, which gives us an extra body on board and readies Mulan. We've got Moana, which might be one that's slightly more like less consistent, sorry. But yeah, Mulan's really good because it quests for free and gets us to that. Moana, sorry, is really good because she quests for free, gets to that win condition quicker, and then Mulan just spam attacks. So that's the name of the game. The main goal of the deck: just spam attacks with Mulan, and you'll be happy. So for the Mulligan, you're basically looking for a turn 1 play, a turn 2 play, and then maybe Just in Time and like a 5-drop. So you could look for Stitch and Rockstar Stitch as well. That's not a bad idea. You basically just want to plan out your first couple of turns, but here's like an idea of kind of what you're looking for in Mulligan. you're just looking for kind of like combos. So you're looking for Lilo and Simba is like a good combo, turn 1, turn 2. Just in time plus 5 drop is a good, you know, like turn 3 combo. And then the 1 drop Stitch and the Rockstar Stitch is a really good like turn 4 play. So you're just kind of looking for like a really impactful start is just your main goal. You're looking for just a really fast start, and yeah. So for the matchups, I've got Emerald in favourable, just because they're always going to have cheap units with low health on the board. So Mulan's kind of just going to like banish all of them. Just you're going to have like negative effects, like Flynn Rider's going to make you discard a card, stuff like that, but Mulan gives you so much value off of just getting rid of these smaller units that you're not really too bothered. So I've got Emerald there. Obviously Cusco can be quite annoying, but you're basically racing, and Lilo Simba can race Emerald pretty well most of the time. And then for Sapphire, they're a bit slow, so they're going to be ramping up. So by the time they've kind of ramped up, you should have already established a really wide board, and you should have multiple like key threats on the board, so they can't just use Let It Go or Hades on just one of them. You have like 2. So for example, you have like a Mulan and Rockstar Stitch, like I mentioned before. And then in even, we've got Ruby. You're kind of just playing it, be prepared, to be honest. Like I said with the Let It Go thing a second ago, you're going to have multiple massive threats on the board, so Dragonfire is going to slow you down, but it's not going to like stop you dead in your tracks, which a lot of decks have that issue. So, you know, as soon as they use Be Prepared, you're kind of lost. So you're on a 7 turn timer against Ruby, but that's totally doable, especially when you have Lilo and Simba, stuff like that. And then Amber is again kind of just going to be like a fight for board control, but because you're fighting for board control, that means you're attacking a lot, and Mulan is going to be attacking a lot and just doing your main game plan, so you know, it's quite good there. But they do have the high rolls as well with their own just in times and things like that, so I've got it in even there. And then Amethyst is just also playing for that mid game board control, so same kind of game plan you want against Amethyst as you do against Amber. You just want to fight for that mid game board control, and whoever establishes it quicker will probably win the game. Amethyst does have that card draw factor as well, so they might be using their units to like sing songs a lot of the time, so you can use that to your advantage to attack with Mulan. And then unfavourable, we've got Steel. I feel like Steel might be the best faction in the game right now, just they have so much board control that once you set up like a really wide board, they don't really have an issue clearing it a lot of the time. And then if they can get Tinkerbell up at turn 4, or even like play it on just on turn 6, they can slow you down quite a lot and just stop you in the tracks from there. But other than that, it's not too bad. You can just Dragonfire the Tinkerbell, which is the benefit of playing Ruby. But yeah, so overall I think it's a pretty decent matchup spread. It kind of comes down to if you can just get board control basically. It's just a board control centric deck. So that's it for the deck breakdown. I'm going to go into the games now just to see if I can show the deck off a little bit and give you an idea of how it wants to be piloted. Other than that, thank you for watching. Comment if you want any other deck guides in the comment below and I'll get around to it. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, so game 1, we've got a pretty decent mulligan. I'm actually going to keep everything. This enables us to kind of go turn 4 Stitch, turn 3 Mulan, you know, turn 1 Lilo, etc. We've got all the good stuff here in turn 1, so looking good. So I'm just going to start off with Lilo. Normally you want to play the 1-drop Stitch on turn 3, because then you can play turn 4 Stitch, and it doesn't really give them time to react, whereas if you play it on turn 1, then the opponent has all the time in the world to react. I am going to ink one of these Stitches actually, and then we can go Simba turn 2, and then, you know, we're looking quite good actually. Obviously in this game we might want to just go turn 3 just in time for the Mulan, just for that pressure, but I might even just go turn 3 Stitch, looking at this hand, just because the Rockstar is going to enable us to do quite a lot, especially if we get Tibbs. That means we'd have to ink Mulan now. The opponent looks like they're playing Ruby Amethyst, so they're not really playing much to attack into. So I am actually going to ink Mulan and go Stitch. Yeah, this looks good to me. I am going to play this Tibbs now as well, just because it is an extra card draw for Stitch, but if we get a 5 like drop, we can just use just in time. But you could keep it for card draw, that's fine too. The opponent's just going to play Maleficent, draw a card. Rapunzel's fine too. I think I am just going to shift into the Rockstar here, and then we can go from there. And we can also quest with this Rockstar because we have the bodyguard on board. Yeah, this is an insane start. You know, turn 4 already at 12, threatening Lefou almost. The opponent's at 3 ink, all he does is draw some cards, and they're probably just gonna play Friends on the other side and draw more. Like I say, we had a bodyguard so we can quest with the Stitch. Normally I wouldn't really want to. Okay, so there's Zeus. Not bothered about that really. Just gets rid of the bodyguard, which is not an issue for me. I have Lefou, so what we can do is we can quest like this. And then we can ready up the Stitch to kind of protect it. And then we can exert the Lefou to draw another card. So we can just use Rockstar Stitch to fill up our board. Yeah, and there's a good thing that we ready the Stitch there as well because of the Maui. But we want to use Rockstar Stitch just to fill up our board and draw more cards. And then we can use Just in Time to go into this Maximus here as well, which threatens quite a lot. The opponent's doing quite a lot to clear the board here. But that's fine. We do find Dragonfire, so we could just get rid of it and then we could get rid of it with Dragonfire and then just quest. But I think I'd rather just use Just in Time. Can use this Maximus to go bodyguard. And then we're 1 point away from Lefou, and at this point I don't really see the opponent coming back from this point, to be honest. We're 1 point away, opponent's going to need like a Dragonfire every turn, and they're not even at a stage where they can be prepared yet, so really good start, to be honest. Not really much to say. Yeah, the deck just kind of did its thing there and got us the win, so I'll see you in game 2. Okay, so game 2, we're going second. The first game we had a really good display of kind of the aggressive side of the deck, so I'm hoping we can kind of get some more of that mid-range kind of stuff. Gonna get rid of everything. Other than, I'm gonna keep the Just in Time and the Rapunzel maybe. No, I'm gonna get rid of everything other than this. Kind of want to hunt for that Simba, and also I want to find a 5-drop for the Just in Time, which we do find with Moana, which can do some work. Even if we don't have any princesses, we can still kind of look for that you know, questing for free and having like 6 health on turn 3 is really strong. And we have 2 Lilos to start with, so this is really good turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3 hopefully. And then turn 4 we can maybe hit this Moana into something and then heal to draw some cards. So overall not too bad. We are against Sapphire, so this should be a fine matchup. Gonna ink this Maui. Don't think we're gonna need it too soon. And then we can go for a Lilo and a Stitch. And then we've already got this kind of really aggressive board. Questing for 5 already on turn 2 is really strong, and then we can go ahead and play Just in Time for this Moana. So overall looking quite good. The Grammar is going to trade into the Lilo, unfortunately. We didn't find a Simba, but you don't always need to find the Simba. Lilo on its own is just such a good card. So yeah, this is fine. I'm happy with this. It's quite a good start. Opponent is going to be ramping up quite quickly though. They do have the Mickey and the Grammar. But if we get rid of the Lefou, and then we can just go into Moana. And then, yeah, so we are only going to draw 1 card off of this Rapunzel, unfortunately, assuming that the Mickey hits into the Lilo. And then it might actually be worth attacking with the Stitch instead, and then we can quest for free with this Moana, which would be quite good. But I don't mind using Rapunzel to draw 1. It does give you a really strong body on the board, and it does draw your cards, so it's fine to do that as well. Opponent is already at 6, so they play Maurice, so maybe they're playing like an item combo deck, which is quite interesting. So I'm going to ink this Stitch, and then like I say, we can get rid of this Mickey and draw a card. Do find a Rockstar Stitch, which is fine, and then we can use Moana to quest. I'm already at 8 quests on turn 4, which is quite good. The opponent has 4 cards in hand. I think they're playing they quest instead of getting rid of the Stitch, which is crazy. They're going to start drawing cards. I guess they can play the Plasma Blaster for cheaper because they've quested. So it looks like they're playing an aerial item deck, which is really interesting. I think this deck could be quite good when future sets come out, but they haven't found aerial, so this is fine for me, honestly. The fact they didn't get rid of the Stitch, we can just shift into Rockstar now and start drawing cards that way, which is really good. The reason the opponent quested was so they could play an item for cheaper and draw a card. So I guess they're just kind of digging for their, you know, their main pieces. So we can go shift Stitch here, and then we can quest for 8, which is quite good. And then I'm actually not going to ink anything. I'm just going to quest with everything, I think, here. So it's important here that you quest with Rapunzel first, and then you quest with the Moana, and then that will ready the Rapunzel back up. And then the Rapunzel can't quest again, because that would be insanely broken, but it protects it, so now nothing can attack this Rapunzel, so we can quest again for 2 next turn, and we should be relatively safe. And yeah, I think we're looking quite good. Opponent's going to play Tinkerbell. Thankfully they haven't found the shift Tinkerbell too early, so we're looking quite solid there. Opponent looks like they might just hit everything into this Moana, which, like I say, this deck has such a great... I think they misclicked with the Plasma Blaster there. They just concede. I think we're going to win that game anyway. But yeah, like I was saying, that's the great thing with this deck, is the opponent doesn't have anything to remove. There's no like obvious option to remove, because you have so many big threats. Like for example, our threats there were Moana and Stitch, and they have to choose to get rid of one of them rather than the other, which means they leave the other one up. Same with like Mulan, they have to choose one, and it's a really difficult choice for an opponent to make. So let's go to the final game. Okay, so going first in game 3, I have found kind of what I want to do. This hand looks absolutely perfect. I really want to showcase Mulan here. I'm going to keep all 7. I feel like I hate making a deck guide and then the main thing we never get off. So we're going to plan our turns out. It's really important to do that. So by turn 1 we're going to go Lilo, turn 2 we're going to go Simba, turn 3 we're going to go just in time from Mulan, and then turn 4 we can go Shield and then use a Shield proc as well. So we're not going to need Tibbs. So that means on turn 4 we can attack twice with Mulan, which means the Lilo's going to quest for 4 if we can get some banishes off, and then the Simba's going to be quested for 3, which is a 7 quest swing, which can be pretty crazy. So hopefully we can get that off. Opponent's playing Amber as well, so hopefully they're playing a lot of early game units. This is exactly what Mulan wants. You know, Mulan's one of those units where when you get it off and you have a really good game of it, it's just insane. It just feels really, really strong. But you know, you don't really need it too often. Okay, cool. So, do we want to go Simba here? Because what we can do is we can almost set up in a way. No, let's just ink Moana, and then we can go Simba. I was gonna say in a way we can kind of trade our Lilo into the hook and then set it up so it's like damaged and keep all their stuff on the board, but I think it's just more consistent and better to just play Simba here, and then we can play Lilo at some point in the future. We could even play it with the Mulan at one point. So if turn 4 we use Shield, and then turn 5 we can go Lilo maybe. I don't know, it kind of depends what we draw. But turn 3 we're definitely going to go just in time for this Mulan. And then maybe turn 4 we'll play Shield, or maybe turn 4 we'll just play a really wide board. You don't need multiple procs of Mulan, but it's always a good thing. Even just having one proc is totally fine on that card as well. So yeah, the opponent's going to trade their Simba and hook, which is fine, kind of expect that. I see Moana. I might even ink this Shield now. And then we can just go Mulan, and then we're not going to quest. We kind of just want to set up this Mulan now to really enable our board. We just do need to establish a wider board though, and that'll be fine. Hopefully the opponent quests with this Eric. I don't think it's correct for them to do it, but if they do, then that's great. And then, you know, we just get any value we can out of the Mulan, which is really important. Gonna play Stitch, so they're probably setting up for a Rockstar Stitch on turn 4. Okay, so we can honestly play Lilo here, and then I feel like Moana might be too slow, and I kind of just want to get to this Rapunzel as soon as possible. So I am going to quest with this Lilo. The reason is because I want them to attack so their units are exerted, so then I can use the Mulan to attack. Otherwise they're just going to keep making a really wide board and not attacking, and then we're just not going to get any value out of the Mulan. We have the Rapunzel for after we attack with Mulan as well to draw some cards, so hopefully they attack with the Stitch. I don't think they will. They'll probably almost definitely attack with the Prince Eric, but hopefully they exert the Stitch at some point, so then I can draw 2 cards off of this Rapunzel. Opponent is playing Amber Steel Songs, which is right now probably the best deck in the game. I think it's the most played deck as well. I think it won the 1K, and then people kind of just started playing it an awful lot, and we're seeing a lot of different lists. So there's the Rockstar shift, which isn't too good for us, but they have no ink to play with, so you know, there's hope. Opponent's gonna use Grab. They just really do not want us to attack with this Mulan. They do not want us to get any value, but that's fine. We could just use Rapunzel and draw 2 cards, and then we can ink this, and then next time we can go Rockstar Stitch, and then it kind of goes for that whole thing I was talking about before as well, where you just have so many threats they don't really know what to get rid of, and there isn't really a right or wrong option. They just kind of have to get rid of it and hope that, you know, it's correct. Thankfully the Rockstar Stitch is going to start exerting their cards, so Mulan can get some value out of that. It's not too much value right now, however. No, because it is just the one. But you can see that if we had the 2 Lilos as well, like suddenly Mulan's questing for like 3, and then if you can have stuff like the shield that we inked to ready it again, then you're getting 6 out of it. It is quite a difficult thing to pull off, and you know, I'm not going to say this is the most competitive deck or anything, but it's just a solid deck, and it can be played on a budget if you take out the Rapunzels, I guess. I don't think a budget deck inside of Lorcana really exists right now, to be completely honest. But you know, I'm just going to ink this Lefou, and then I can go Rockstar Stitch. And then I can use this Mulan. Mulan's going to get traded, but you know, we do get 1 extra lore point out of it, which is fine. And you know, it's not a card that is going to like, you're not going to be setting up Exodia combos with this card or anything. It is just for these little extra like pushes of lore that we're going to get throughout the game that really make it shine. Because you know, 1 lore can be the difference between winning or losing a game, and that's why it's also important to kind of like know when to quest and when not to quest, because you know, you really need to maximize and optimize how much you're questing for a lot of the time. Okay, opponent's gonna play Maximus there, which is quite difficult for us to deal with, but at the same time, yeah, that's all their ink gone, so hopefully we can draw some 1-drops here and start using our Rockstar Stitch. Cool, so we get Simba. Important not to put it in Bodyguard, so then we can excite it with this. Find a Dragonfire, which is fine. This is Bodyguard, which is okay. I'm gonna quest with Rapunzel for sure, but do I want to quest with the Stitch? If I quest with Stitch, they get rid of Simba by attacking this, and then they can attack both of these into the Stitch, and that's kind of all our draw gone. But they are likely to use what's the card called? A Whole New World at some point. So I think I am gonna quest here, just to kind of put that pressure on, and then the opponent has to trade up their whole board. So you know, I'm not too sad about that, and hopefully the opponent's not playing Rapunzels. I've seen some lists play Rapunzel. Personally, I don't run it. I don't think you need it, to be honest. Like, the extra card draw's nice, but like I say, you don't need it. Okay, so the opponent hits with Maximus there, so that's totally fine. Now they can't clear our Stitch or our Rapunzel, so you know, that's pretty decent. Hopefully we can find... Okay, so I think they were just setting up their Rapunzel. Hopefully we can find something to use this just in time with. Maybe a Maximus would be really good for that Bodyguard, or even a Mulan would be quite good to set up kind of like scary numbers. But I mean, even right now, using a Dragonfire on the enemy Rockstar Stitch seems fine too. I will say this is a really tricky matchup just because you don't have any like wide board wipes. Whereas the opponent has access to like grab your sword and stuff like that. The opponent is setting up really scary numbers. We find another unequal card, so I think if we do this, and then we can hit here, and then how much is the opponent questing for now? Still 6, so then we need to hit the Stitch. We're definitely on the back foot. It's not looking too good, but you know, we are playing against probably the best deck in the game right now, so you know, like I said, this deck isn't the most competitive deck. You can definitely win some games with it, and there might even be like a more optimal list. Like I say, if you don't agree with this deck list, definitely feel free to try out some other things and see what you think. But there's Ariel. Hopefully, I mean, I'm hoping that they use Whole New World for us, but you know, okay, they don't find anything. They're gonna get to 19. I don't think there's anything we can do from this point forward, so I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. Quite sad that the one game we got Mulan out we lost, but other than that, that's been the deck guide. Hopefully you guys have better luck with it than I did. Yeah, try it out, see if you can get the Mulan out, and see if you can have some fun with it. It's a really fun deck list. Give it a go, and you know, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.